Today's topic is addiction recovery can feel like an uphill battle at times. So, for those who are new to the channel, my name is Ashley Bloxham. I'm a therapist, I specialise in childhood and trauma, but I'm also an addictions counsellor. I've overcame addiction, I think that qualifies as the most to be sat here. I've studied it right up to PhD level, and I also know what it's like to have loved ones who struggle in addiction. Today's topic is recovery can feel like you're just fighting an uphill battle. It is like swimming against the tide. And honestly, I've been experiencing this myself recently. I've quit vaping and I just feel like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Every reason to stop is presenting itself, and it's really reminding us of when I was giving up with my drug addiction recovery stage, where you're just like, for fuck's sake. It really does feel like that. But every little thing that gets thrown at you is see it as a test, and if you can overcome that little test, then you're going to drive yourself toward resilience, further and further towards resilience. Every time you feel like you're going up an uphill battle and you're struggling uphill, you're going to end up learning how to, one, fight against fatigue. You're going to get stronger, faster, smarter. So the next battle is not going to feel as much. So just think of it like resilience training and just keep going. It does get better, honestly. And that is one saving grace I've got with me quitting vaping, is I do know it does get better because I've done it with drug addiction. So just keep pushing, but life will throw loads of shit at you, loads of little tests, and it's important that you just say, this is a little test, it'll be over and done with, and then I'm going to come out feeling proud of myself. Chris, hello, Chris, how you doing? Hopefully my son's doing better. Yeah, he's just been being sick everywhere, bless him. And I did a live today, and he was being quite well behaved downstairs. Let's do it. I came back on after because he asked us to wipe his bum, and he came in and he took all his clothes off and streaked on YouTube. So it was just been a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Harvey, as long as Storm is running the country, I'm going to keep snorting. Look, if you want to snort and you're enjoying it, that's up to you. I'm not here to pass judgment. Jonas is saying, hello, Ashley, how are you doing? I'm doing good, thank you. How are you doing? How are you? It's nice to see you back again. How are you doing, Chris, as well? Mark, I don't know what that says. Sorry, I only read English, and even then not that well. I don't even read English that well, let alone other languages. Call dog. I'm on my first day in a detox program at a halfway house, sitting in my room alone and scared. Oh my god. Day one is fucking hefty, and it is scary. It is. I've never been so. I tell you what's more scary though, Carl. What was more scary for me was sitting in my backyard day after day thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna ever be able to get sober. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get clean. I've got to admit, as scary as it is, like, I don't know if I'm going to get through this craving. I don't know if I'm going to get another day under my belt. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this long term. At least there's hope with that call dog. Whereas when you're stuck in addiction and you're just fucking scared and there's no hope, it's very hopeless. That is more scary. So try and hold on to that. Like, either way, you're going to be feeling shit and scared. At least this way, you're going to feel shit and scared in a direction toward not shit and not scared. The other one is the direction toward more shit and more scary. So yeah, just keep reminding yourself that, call dog. But you're doing fucking amazing, and I'm glad that you've got to the point of being in a half house and that you're on day one. That's really great, even though it doesn't feel great right now. Chris is saying, if anyone is struggling, needs support, reach out to Ashley through the link in the bio. She will answer and get back to you. Like and subscribe to help the channel reach others. Thanks, Chris. How are you doing, everyone? Margot, has anyone got any tips as well for Call Dog? Because he's in his first day recovery and the early stages are fucking gruesome. Has anyone got any tips for the first few days? Olivia is saying, hi, I'm a new subscriber. Hello, Olivia. Nice to see a girl on the channel. The majority are boys. Oh my God, thank you, Krista. You're speaking. I think it's Spanish with como está. I'm guessing it's, but I don't know very much Spanish at all. Even though I've lived in Spain for like 4 summers, I don't know very much at all. Jonas is saying, glad to hear that you're rocking that outfit. Thank you. I'm all right, thanks. I'm glad to hear you're all right. How do you like crumpets with your tea? I'm not a big crumpet fan, you know. If I'm gonna pick something like that on that spectrum, I'm gonna go for hot cross buns, or scones. But I'm not really a crumpet kind of person. Roxanne, my iPad. Hello. Hi, it's me, Silva. Hi, Silva. I don't know who Silva is. Was that an old name? Silva something. Nathan, y'all don't suffer from shit. Grow up and stop being victim. Yeah, I mean, being victim. I was sitting in victim mode is helpful. It is helpful because you get to sit there and think, okay, at least this isn't my fault. So you can get rid of shame. But there's got to be a point where you sit there and say, right, yes, like life is shit and this isn't my fault and, you know, I didn't ask for this. However, like, let's shift gears up to survivor. Let's survive this shit, not just be victim of it. Because like being victim isn't helpful. It serves a purpose, but it's just not. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. It's really irritating us. It's not helpful. And I was sat in victim mode for years, and yeah, you just start attracting more things to feel sorry for yourself for. I love the hair bun. Thank you. It's just messiness. I did this because I've been cleaning my bathroom. It was so that I could wipe mold off my ceiling in my bathroom, and it's just I didn't have enough time to change. So I'm glad you're digging it. How do you deal with learned hopelessness? Yeah, I mean, feeling hopeless. One might be an anxiety situation. So anxiety, if we're feeling like in fight or flight, we're going to feel quite hopeless, because we're going to feel in this constant state of like, oh, something's going to go wrong. So I'd calm your nervous system first and foremost. And there's one thing so I did this training course, and someone called Gillian Fortune who's amazing. She's on Facebook if any of you want to follow her. She's really great. But she's taught us this thing about, she said, do like a power pose. So, I mean, you don't even need to put your hands up. This is a power pose, by the way, right? Hands on hips. But the idea is if you just put your shoulders back, like own your body, and just say, and she used to say the words, I am in control. Just do a breath and go, I'm in control. And it's just this idea of shifting gears in your brain. I mean, I don't do power poses, they're a bit daft, but I just like own my body, get into it, and I'm like, right, I'm in control. Or for me, I prefer to say, I've got this. And then come up with a strategic plan. Hopeless is a feeling of, I don't know what to do. Life is shit, it's never going to change. So try and plan for something different. And it doesn't need to be fully changing a situation. So if we've got no control over a situation, maybe it's just about how we think about this situation. Maybe we plan to do something that brings us joy in a different area of our lives or whatever. But just create a plan that's moving forward, because then you feel hopeful, I would say. And it's a skill as well, Paul. Menzo saying, a Silva, I want to say good night. Good night. Jude, hi, how you doing? Paul Bennett, I've done a lot of coke a lot over the Christmas period, but I'm not going to do it anymore. I love that for you. Have you already stopped, or you just like going to set a stop date, Paul? Where you at? Hi, Olivia. Monzo, a big hug and nuzzle from me, Silva. I love you. Oh, thank you. Bye, Mond. I think you just said bye, didn't you? Yeah, good night. You'll have to, Silva what though? Like, were you called Silva something? Was there more of your name? Jonas is saying environmental change. Yeah. I think you're talking to, who was it? Someone, Carl Dog. Yes, environmental change. So if you're in that halfway house, that is environmental change. So you've got that under your belt. Paul is saying how, oh, I've already read that. Olivia, I don't drink anymore because it just makes my anxiety worse. That's exactly why I stopped drinking, Olivia. Well, it's one of many reasons. There was a lot of reasons that I was like I had stopped and then it crept back in, and then there was quite a lot of reasons, but I kept like toying with the idea of, do I be abstinent or do I just have a drink on certain occasions? And every time I had a drink, I have such bad like anxiety. It was really, really bad anxiety the next day. So yeah, I'm the same. So yeah, I just don't drink. You said you don't drink anymore either, do you, Olivia? Nathan, now that you've said that, how does that help? Our will should lift people up, even with hard truths spoken in love. I didn't see what Nathan said, Chris. Oh, it was Italian. See, I didn't even get it was Italian. Oh God, I've got something in my eye. It's really bugging us. What kind of addiction, Lee? All addiction. I'm just talking about all addiction, but I was addicted to ketamine. You go to church? I don't. No, my grandpa was a vicar, so I've been to church. I used to go to church. Oh God, honestly, I used to go to church, but I don't go. No, I'm more spiritual than religious. 40 Winston saying great advice, big up Ant and Deck, true Geordie legends. They are absolute legends. So sorry I missed the class on Sunday. It's alright, double tap. Nobody came. So I think I'm just going to leave it and stick the one-to-ones. How are you doing though, Double Tap? How's the channel going? Everyone follow Double Tap. He's making music. Pretty cool guy. Have you ever lost a 10mm socket? I don't know if that's a joke or something, but... Ruff is saying 6 years sober from black tar heroin. I've never heard of it being called black tar, but absolute legend. Love that for you. What's your top tip, Ruff? Reckon for everyone. Jonas is saying, but it is our fault. I make active choice every day when I consume. It is and it isn't. I mean, it's in the DSM-5, Jonas, which is like a diagnostic tool. So it's classed as a disorder because it changes the chemistry of your brain. So it's not as simple as choice. It's certainly not our fault. Addiction doesn't come out of a vacuum. But it's not something that just because it's not our fault and just because it's a really difficult choice doesn't mean that we can't choose different, doesn't mean that we can't do different. So it's about walking that tightrope of like not blaming ourselves, so not saying it's our fault, but also accepting that it's our responsibility to change and we can do it. It's just fucking tough. Like, even just quitting vaping, like, that's been fucking horrendous. It really has. And that's just vaping, let alone drug addiction, let alone what Ruff's done with, like, heroin. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Jonas, I do agree to a certain extent, but... Roast chicken. Cocaine is good for learned hopelessness. All addiction is. Because when you're trying to stop, this is what I mean, it's like a really hard choice. If you're trying to stop and you can't, you're going to start to feel hopeless. Like, really fucking hopeless. And you're also going to feel like a hopeless person, like an absolute, like, waste of space. Like, I literally felt like such a waste of space. I was just like, who the fuck am I? Like, what even am I? Like, I can't even stop taking ketamine. And I was, like, trained to be a therapist as well. I was like, I'm just fucking shit. So, like... yeah, it is good for learned hopelessness. But the opposite of that is recovery. You start to feel the complete opposite. You start to think, fucking hell, actually, I'm pretty mint. Actually, I'm quite strong. I didn't realise how resilient I am. And you start to totally flip the script. Do you look into the neurology of addiction, Lee? Yeah, I've looked in. I mean, look, I'm still learning. I'm not going to sit here and claim to know everything. But yeah, I really find the neurology of addiction really interesting. And this is why a lot of it, I feel like when we're saying, oh, it's just a choice, I'm like, well, it's not really just a choice. It's not as simple as it's just a choice. It's like, oh, now you said start. Now you said it's my choice. I didn't realise it was a choice. Okay, I'll just go choose to do that. So it doesn't make sense, especially if you're looking at the neuroscience of it and the psychology of it. Ruth, what's a good coping mechanism for controlling your anger? First of all, recognise what anger is. So anger is serving a purpose. I mean, if we're just angry all the time at life, then that's probably a bit of a secondary emotion. It might be fight or flight. Because remember, fight can be anger. But if we're angry, so I get angry, and that anger, I allow a space. So instead of it like letting it completely consume us, sometimes it does. Though I will say I am only human. Sometimes I get angry and like lose my shit. I can't help being human. But the majority of the time, I just say like, why am I angry? Like, what is going on? What buttons are being pressed here? Is it a boundary that's being crossed? Is it something historical? Like, are they triggering an old wound? Is this person taking the piss out of us? Am I depleted? Like, am I hungry? Am I tired? Am I burnt out? Am I taking too much on? So I ask why. Once I've asked why, I ask what. Like, what am I going to do about it then? Because there's clearly something up, whatever the why is. Now, what am I going to do that's going to be different so that I don't have to feel angry? Before any the why and the what, always breathe and regulate. And that might take 5 minutes, it might take 3 or 4 hours. Like, don't ever respond through anger if you can. So if it's somebody that you're angry at, try and take a breather and then come back to it. But yeah, anger is just a normal human emotion. And usually it's because somebody's pissing us off. And we shouldn't just push it down, but we shouldn't explode, we should explore. M Halls. Hi M Halls, I don't know what you're saying, but hello. Jonas, I have a lot of what? Anger. Can you help me with some sobriety accountability, Phil? Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to do a one-to-one? And I can certainly help you do that. What is it as well that you're getting sober from? Because what I did for accountability, which was super helpful, was I asked my dad if he wouldn't mind doing drugs tests, but you can get a breathalyzer. So for the first few months, I knew it was going to be really hard. So I had that accountability that every 3 days I knew I was going to have to do a drugs test. And then I just stopped when I felt like I didn't need to. And so you could ask if it's alcohol breathalyzer with somebody you trust. You could do it online. But accountability, other things is just showing up here and being accountable, telling your friends, like telling people about it. I mean, I've said here I'm stopping vaping, so I kind of know that I'm going to have to hold myself accountable on here. Jonas is saying rough boxing helped me. Yeah, and that's a good way to get like learn. The thing with boxing as well, not only are you getting your anger out, so it's a healthy outlet, but also it is rough who said about anger, isn't it? Yeah. The other thing with that is you're learning to regulate your nervous system. So if we're having explosive anger, that's emotional regulation. So anything with martial arts or even just like cold showers or ice baths or saunas, you have to learn to regulate your emotions. So like one thing in jiu-jitsu that I'm learning is instead of being frantic and trying to do everything like hell the leather, you've got to like calm down. And I know it's counterproductive, but take a second to decide what you're going to do next. So it allows you to calm down in heightened stress. And anger's just a heightened emotion. It's stress. Especially in fight or flight. If you think of it like fight or flight, it's a secondary emotion. So yeah, boxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA, some kind of combat sport will be amazing for it. But even just cold showers, like anything that's putting your body under stress and you've got to breathe and regulate through it, will help you manage any type of emotions. Steve's saying Toon Army. Yep. Big up the Toon. Phil, reach out to her via link through one-to-one. Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah, go to the link on my bio and I will get back to you and do a one-to-one. Oh my god, Pess, I haven't heard that for ages. What's up? God, that is so old. I don't even think I can do it anymore. Phil, can you help me with some sobriety? Oh, I've already read that, sorry. Fabio says my addiction starts now. Addiction starts now. Do you mean me with the love hearts? Or you just am I like inspiring you, because that is not what I'm wanting to do. Perverts are addicted to you, Lee saying. The thing is, and yeah, I'm not really here to date. Like this, let's get real. Like yous aren't really. I can't see any of yous. These are just a bunch of letters. Yeah, and I'm not even, yeah, anyways, like, this wouldn't be the place I'd come to, guys. Right, Lee, gambling is my worst addiction. Yeah, gambling's really shit addiction to have. I've never had a gambling addiction, thankfully. It's just the amount of damage you can do in one night. And it's advertised everywhere as well. Thing is, like, with my addiction, I do feel for you, because with my addiction with ketamine, if I was gonna even just like fall off the wagon, realistically, if I picked myself back up again, well, here's an example. Oops, sorry, I found a vape today because I've been sorting things out. I found a vape, so I've quit vaping for 3 days, and I found it and I was just like, oh, ended up smoking it. Then I could just put it in the bin. Like, one slip up isn't really the end of the world. You can say, actually, no, I don't want to do that. I put it straight in the bin. It was done with. One slip up with gambling and you're fucked. And now if you're constantly doing it, I can imagine that's really fucking stressful. But Lee, if you'd like one-to-one, I can do it, because even though I've not struggled with gambling addiction, it's exactly the same across the board on how you deal with addiction. So I'm happy to do that with you. Has anyone overcame a gambling addiction? And they can give some advice to Lee. Fat scaffolders on a night shift say how do. To the scaffies, how are yous doing? Jonas, I drink a day on work, not much, but same as always. Is drinking something you have an issue with or not? Rebound, where you from? Newcastle. I live in Durham at the moment. A double tap says hi. When do you usually come on live, Olivia? It says, so Monday, Wednesday and Friday morning at 10 a.m. and then Monday and Wednesday evening at 9 p.m. Sometimes I'm a little bit late. My son wouldn't get off to sleep, and to be honest with you, I'm ADHD, so like to push things to the very last minute. It's on my YouTube page though, on my website. A double tap. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Now I feel worse. Nobody showed up. No, email me the links for the next one or whatever it is. It's all right. Double tap. I'm not bothered. It is what it is. I'm just doing it for people. I just want to, if people need the support. So when no one turned up, it was just like, okay, I've got a couple of hours to myself. Doesn't addiction grab your brain, Olivia? Yeah, it does. It changes your brain chemistry. So the thing is, it changes your brain chemistry, and that's why it's fucking hell on earth for the first couple of weeks, like 3 weeks, especially the first few days. Certain things are physically addictive as well. So benzocaines, alcohol, nicotine. So that's a whole new level. So yeah, it does change your brain, but also you associate things. So we're very habitual creatures. So you then have triggers. So you'll start to associate a certain person or a certain activity, or even just being at home or a certain time with the addiction. Chris is saying, from a neurological standpoint, how do you keep your brain chemistry under control? Speaking of renewing and rewiring, so do you mean like when you're rewiring your brain from coming out of addiction? So someone I know who said water fasting helps speed up the process for them, but I've never done that. It's just a matter of time, Chris. Like, I'm really like, I know I'm banging on about like quitting vape and it's not that big of a deal really in the scheme of addictions, but I'm really hyper aware that I'm feeling shit. I'm really hyper aware that like I feel depleted, I'm a bit angry and stuff like that, but I'm also just aware that this is a process. So just whilst you're rewiring your brain, just remind yourself of the facts. Just say, look, this too shall pass. My brain's rewiring, my dopamine's screwed. I'm gonna feel bleak, I'm gonna be more irritable. I'm naturally reaching for sugar more and, you know, like going to doom scroll and just like trying not to do that. I'm like, this is just me brain like scrabbling for dopamine. So just talk yourself through it and like, you know, I say it all the time, but you engage in your prefrontal cortex, you're rationalizing instead of just acting from like this chaotic emotional craving feeling, and just know that it'll pass. I think sometimes knowing there's a light at the end of the tunnel can be helpful. Even if it's not that helpful, it does, you can think, I've just get through one more day and I'm one day closer to my brain being unfucked. Mr. Ray is saying, hello, did you do drugs? Yeah, I've done so many fucking drugs in my time. I wasn't sober, and I say this all the time, but I just wasn't sober one day of my 20s. I first started smoking weed when I was about 13, 14, not every day, but trying it. I tried my first like I didn't really class weed as a drug, but my first thing I then tried was speed, didn't like that, and then coke at 16, and moved to Ibiza when I was 19, and just went reckless, like just off the rails really. Then was addicted to ketamine at the late 20s. So yeah, tried a lot of drugs, never tried hard drugs, so I've never tried crack or heroin, never injected anything. Jonas, you out, you're very well. I agree with you. Been doing a lot of nitazines, oh god, and before fentanyl analogues, about T, Xanax, pre-gabs, alcohol, OC, I don't know. A lot of these are prescription drugs. A lot of them I don't recognise. The only ones I recognise is the pre-grabs and Xanax, because I've tried it and obviously I've heard of fentanyl. I've had fentanyl before, not recreationally though, but I was out of my fucking mind on it. It was because I had a molar pregnancy and my body was trying to get rid of the contractions, so they put us on morphine. And because I was on morphine on one day, the next day I had a DV scrape and they put us on fentanyl. I was, oh my god, so fucking wrecked. But yeah, as I don't recognise a lot of them, Jonas. There's a lot of them prescription drugs, I take it. If you're wanting to have a one-to-one, Jonas, though, absolutely can do that. A double tap step working with a sponsor today on step 5 with my sponsor. Love that double tap. What is step 5? What is step 5 double tap? I've never done it. I've been at NA meetings, but I've never done the steps. Took some suggestions. I've been praying for my ex-wife and it's definitely felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I love that for you. Yeah, it's good to pray. Prayer's really good. It does some great things to our brain, talking about brain chemistry. Sorry. A double tap. It's like day 5 of praying for her in the midst of this separation and divorce. I love that you've been able to do that. Yeah, holding on to anger or I don't know what feelings you've had before prior, to be honest with you, but like there's a lot of emotions that come up for for losing someone. And I think, you know, ultimately wishing them for the best is moving on. Like, we've got a grief process. So there's anger, denial, anger, bargaining. So that's back and forth. Like, oh, if I just do this, maybe it could work. If they just change that, maybe it would work. So you've got bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. And prayer can move you into that place of acceptance, which ultimately is where we want to end up. So yeah, I love that you've been able to do that. Yeah, Chris is saying prayers are powerful tool. Keep it up. It really is, guys. And if not prayer, oh, my phone's on 1%. I live life on the edge of my charging on my phone, for God's sake. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I do it to myself. Yeah, and if you're not religious or spiritual, gratitude is just as helpful. It's all about training your brain to think positively. It all produces gratitude and prayer. You produce really good feel good hormones, endorphins, which is great, especially for recovery, but just for life in general. Young Clip, I hear you. Double tap, definitely helping fight against bitterness and unforgiveness. Yeah, and look, bitterness and not forgiving is just not a nice place to sit. It's just not a nice energy. Like, every feeling and thought we have has a cocktail of chemicals in our bodies. So anger, bitterness, resentment, these are all going to be producing a cocktail of hormones in our bodies which don't feel nice. And it's really like that. I know it's such a lame comment, but it's so true. Like, saying that anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Anytime we have negative thoughts and resentment, jealousy, all this stuff, we produce a cocktail of emotion, of hormones which aren't good for our body. Now, I'm not saying don't ever feel the negative emotions. They all serve a purpose, but don't sit in them. If we're just sitting there angry and resentful of the person, it's just drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So prayer, forgiveness, trying to take accountability in your own thing, acceptance is all positive emotions, and it means that we don't get stuck in those negative emotions. We just visit the negative emotions. Chris is saying, I'll be praying for you and her. Oh, Chris, you're a little sweetheart. 2 years, 4 months and 12 days clean off everything. Meth, cigs, alcohol and porn and gangs and sex. I love that for you. A double tap. You're smashing it. You're doing amazing. In 2 years, your brain fully rewired. Welcome to the other side. Are you English? Yes. I am. Subscriber 1, Young Clip, thank you. Yeah, and if anybody else can subscribe, that would be really helpful to the channel, get us to the right people. But thank you for the sub. A double tap is saying, just dropped another music video yesterday called Quit. It's all about the struggle. I think it would help a lot of addicts in recovery. Yeah, everyone check out a double tap's channel, give him a sub. He's wanted to help in a fellow recovery veteran out who's trying to make something of his life after he's came out of, let's go back, 2 years of clean of meth, cigarettes, alcohol, porn, gangs and sex. Like, give him a sub just to help him on his journey. But also makes music around like addiction and just quitting that, and yeah, it's great. Go check it out. Manchester, Jason. Are you from Hello, Jason. I haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been back on this channel recently a little bit. It's nice to see you. I'm from Manchester. Oh, you're saying you're from Manchester. I'm from Newcastle. It's benzos, alcohol and weed. Yeah, that's a massive cocktail. I hope, Jonas, if you are going to stop any of that, that you realise that benzos, alcohol, can be really fucking dangerous, and that concoction alone, if you were just to stop everything, could send your body into shock. So I really urge you to do it with services if you are going to stop, and you can also like lean on me if you want some free support as well, and I can get you to the right services if you're not already there. A double tap is saying anger most of the time is rooted in fear. Yeah, fight or flight. So if we think threat, fight or flight. So one thing that my old supervisor, so in counselling, you have what's called a supervisor, which isn't like a normal supervisor. It's essentially another therapist who's done a supervision training, basically. And you sit down and you talk about all your clients with them. And your supervisor used to talk about anger. So if someone's angry, get them to imagine that anger is a cloud above the head and to move the cloud away. What's underneath that cloud? So the anger is like a secondary emotion. It's fight or flight. It's fight. And if we think about what's underneath it, it might be frustration. It might be rejection. It might be jealousy. It might be that our boundaries are being pushed. So all different things. So try and work out what's going on underneath the anger. Luther saying, I used to be addicted to caffeine. I took an epileptic episode. Yeah, sometimes we just need a big wake-up call. And sometimes, like, and again, I know I've been, like, banging on about vaping, but sometimes it's worth thinking, do I want to wait for that wake-up call? Sometimes we can bring the wake-up call to today and say, like, do I really want to be waiting and dealing with some shit down the line, or am I going to face it head on today? So think about like, what would my life look like if I continued with the addiction, and what would it look like if I didn't? And that can be a good way to get your prefrontal cortex involved, which is your rational thinking, and give you that jump start that you need to stop today instead of waiting until the shit thing happens. I know I should ask, but how old is your soul? How old am I? I'm 36. Nearly 37. So we're still in January, aren't we? So I'll be 37 in March the 13th. I know you're mainly men, so you probably don't give a fuck, but I'm a Pisces. Right. The best accent, thanks, Harry. Grey Ghost, your accent is East Coast, maybe New Jersey. I'm a Geordie. I'm from Newcastle, England. Now I want to fight you, lol. See what you got. Double tap. I'm only a white belt, but I practice all the time. I've recently got back into it. I spray me. Do you know what? I've had a few false starts with jiu-jitsu recently, and then I've just recently been channeling everything. Like, I'm quitting my vaping. I'm been through some personal stuff, so I've started channeling all that energy into jiu-jitsu. So yeah, you'd probably win, double tap, I'm not gonna lie. But I've started noticing recently progress. So like, I felt shit. I've been doing it since July, and I was really shit, and every week I was just shit. But last week I went, so I've been practicing a move, like this little sequence, and I managed to get a submit someone for the first time. So I've been winning, but in the last couple of times I've got a few wins, but I submitted someone with a choke. I was so fucking buzzing, and things are starting to click into place. So it's really nice that I'm just starting to like thingy. But yeah, you'd probably win, double tap, I'm not gonna lie. I just look at my opponent in the surrender busy. I think if I was to look at my opponent, they would just laugh. But I'm getting dangerous. I'm going to be dangerous. I'm getting dangerous. I'm autistic. So like, when I put my mind to something, I do get crazy with it. And I'm like in that crazy stage with it. So yeah. Jonas saying, I'm super controlled in these situations. I enjoy fighting often. Jonas, did you say you do boxing? Yeah, it's about learning to be controlled, and it's really transferable. Like, because you're just learning to regulate your nervous system. So we always think that we have to regulate our mind, but it's our mind and body, and it's a biofeedback loop. So if we can regulate our bodies, then we can regulate our minds. If we regulate our mind, then we can regulate our bodies better. But if you learn to do both of them together, you are going to be a force to be reckoned with. If you could control your mind and your body, like dangerous person, lethal weapon. Why tell me how live my life, stupid cunt. I'm not telling you how to live your life. You're on my life, mate. Like, I'm just sitting here answering questions. Like, you go live your life however you want, but like, you're on my life. Like, realistically, I feel like you're the cunt in this situation. But hey ho. Anyways, yeah, it happened recently and it scared me. Was that the epileptic fit you said you had? Epileptic episode. Yeah, I can imagine that was really fucking scary. My friend has had a epileptic fit recently, and we were all really fucking terrified, let alone her. Olivia, thank you for your wisdom. See you next time. Bye, Olivia. It's nice to see you. Easy is saying, do I have children? I have a little boy. I'm a boy mama. He's 4. I fucking love him. He's a nightmare though. He's just been learning. Actually, he's quite keen at the moment of like whenever because I've been practicing jiu-jitsu, he's been learning little things. So he's like trying to choke us out before with his little spindly arms. Bless him. He's so cute. He's been being sick everywhere though the last 24 hours, which hasn't been that great. I'm not gonna lie. Moderator, get the spammer trolls out the chat. Make me a mod, I got you. Double tap, I'll make you a mod, but just leave the trolls because unless they're being offensive to other people, double tap. The only reason why I leave the trolls because they actually do the legwork. Like people who are genuinely here, who want and support, generally only put their comment in once. Whereas trolls would just go like hell to leather. Like saying like, I don't know, whatever it is that they want to say millions of times. And because that then signals to YouTube that my channel is like hot stuff and it drives us out. So then it gets us to the people who needs us. So I'll absolutely put you as mod, but I always say to the mods, leave the trolls. They're actually really helpful. So thank you, trolls. Big up the trolls, everyone. Come and give them all a little thumbs up. It's so funny though, because it's like little, what do you call it? Like when you get, it's like I always say, like in the spiritual community, it's like things just bounce off you. Like people like try and throw shade at you, it just ricochets back onto them. Like trolls think that they're doing, like they're going around like causing people loads of grief, but they're actually helping all the channels on YouTube more than most. It's funny. Anyways. You don't like drugs. I wouldn't say I don't like drugs. I used to fucking love drugs. I just I'm not here to sit here and say all drugs are bad. Do not do drugs. Like that would be ridiculous because I used to absolutely be obsessed with drugs. What I don't like is addiction. I think addiction is really fucking hard. I've been through addiction. It's not for the faint-hearted. And I don't like how addiction is understood by a lot of people. There's a really outdated belief around what addiction is, why it occurs. So drugs themselves, neither here nor there on. Like, I would never judge someone for taking drugs. I would think, enjoy yourself if they're enjoying it. Be safe, but I'm jealous, but yeah, it's addiction. How do you get it back, your body chemistry, like Foxy? Hi Foxy, how you doing? Your body chemistry, it's just a case of letting your body rewire. Your body is always repairing and it's always renewing and it's always trying to achieve homeostasis. So your body is always trying to achieve a place of balance. That's why what comes up must go down. That's why we struggle with tolerance, because your dopamine receptors, it starts to like close up some of the holes, so you're not producing as much dopamine. So as soon as you stop like flooding your brain with dopamine, it'll start to go, oh, hang on a minute, we're not getting enough dopamine, so it'll start to rewire. And like, for instance, I mean, there can be some permanent damage done. So for instance, for ketamine, what I used to do, you get scarring on the bladder. Like, once your bladder's scarred, it's scarred. Obviously, not off sniffing. I've got I don't know if you can see, I've got like a dent on my nose. Yeah, you can see how it goes kind of off to one side. That's because of sniffing. Like, once that's done, it's done. So there's some irreparable damage, but our bodies are always regenerating. So there's a lot of damage which, you know, is repairable. So you've just got to let your body do its thing and support your body. So drink lots of water. I have rehydration sachets that I have, like electrolytes. Make sure that you're getting really good nutrition. So for me, I'm vegetarian. I get planty. I'm not like I'm not, what do you call it, affiliated with any of these. This is just what I do. But I use Space Goods, which is a hydration sachet. You can get loads of different types. You can get them from your chemist. I get meal prep. So for me, I have planty. So I'm making sure that I'm getting all my micronutrient count intake. So, but you can do that yourself. Just look into eating. And try and look after your sleep. So support yourself as much as possible. But your body will bounce back. And my body's like phenomenal, and you can see it. Like, I track my body, so like on my Aura app, it gives you your stats, and you can see it improve as soon as you start looking after your gut microbiome and stuff. You see all of this stuff change. Oh, thank you, Ellie, for saying I'm beautiful. And baked beans, I fucking hate baked beans. That is my phobia. Oh, they creep us out. There is nothing more sinister than a rogue bean. Just, oh. My son's not even allowed to eat them. Bless him, it's a treat at his dad's house. Or his nana's house. Did you still get on with your life, like work and stuff, Moonstone? Do you mean, what point do you mean? I was a functioning addict, so yes. At the whilst I was under the influence, when I came out of addiction, I was on maternity leave, so I was fortunate enough where I didn't have to do life that much. And I told my family and friends and everyone, and I asked my dad if he could have my son for a few days to go through the thick of it. So I'd say if anyone is thinking about quitting addiction, if you work and you've got any holidays, I would put them in if you can. Or if go to your GP and get like a sick note to get a few days off if you can, just to, you know, look after yourself. You have to practice. Afternoon Tea is saying you have to practice and practice life again without self-medicating. Learn the coping skills, slow and steady. Learn your triggers. Yeah. Do you know what I always say to myself, which me friend said to us, was slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I say that to myself all the time. Like, anytime I'm feeling stressed, or like I keep going back to me vaping, but it's an addiction recovery I'm going through at the moment. But just breathe and go, right, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Just get through the day, like, we'll just go through whatever we're going through now, and you're gonna come out of it, it's gonna speed up exponentially. But yeah, it's all about learning to do life without that thing. Right, I'm gonna go to the bottom because I'm lingering around the top. I'm gonna end in 10 minutes. I think I've got about 40 minutes in this before my brain starts blank. And I've just, do you know what it is though? I haven't taken creatine in ages, and I've just ordered myself some. So I feel like that might help with me, because my brain goes dead, and I don't like to continue answering questions when my brain starts flatlining. But it'd be interesting to see if creatine makes a difference, because I haven't taken it in months. Good night, Menno. What was my drug of choice? Cheggy was ketamine. Still is. And I'd say like my drug of choice was ketamine. Jason, weekend blowouts, that's especially in the 90s the best. I was a Ben in the 90s because I was born in 89. But yeah, look, this is the thing. I used to love getting wrecked. Like, I used to love weekends, like recreational drugs. So this is a problem though. Like, I think a lot of the time we sit there and say it's not good and all drugs are bad. But like anybody who's had an addiction will say, well, that's a pile of shit, because I've obviously loved whatever it is that I'm addicted to. I've gotten joy out of it. It's all fun and games though, until it's really fucking not fun and games. And that's the problem with it. 89, the wall went down. What wall went down? I'm 78. G is saying it's got a full decade on his. So you'd be 46, nearly 47, are you? Are you 46 or 47? I'm nearly 37. Too much is never enough. That's the problem. That is the problem. And I keep thinking this. I keep thinking this to myself all the time. Like when I go to have a vape, I keep thinking like, oh, just do it. I'll just do it. And then I'm like, yeah, but you're always just gonna want to do it. Like too much is never enough. Like the thing is, I know this so much. Like you always, oh, I'll just do it and I'll stop tomorrow. But tomorrow never fucking comes. You've just got to do it today. It's really hard though. It is reminding us a lot. Like I sit on this channel, and I talk about addiction recovery, and you've just got to do this and you've just got to do that. And the feeling I'm getting from vaping, I know is only half of what I went through with drug addiction, and it's been really humbling because it is really fucking hard to do. It really is. I forgot the feeling of it. I can remember the experience of it, and I don't know about anybody else who's had like long-term recovery, like double tap. I know you're like 2.5 years, 4 months. You kind of look back on it and you remember it was tough, but you don't remember exactly that feeling in your body and how fucking tough it is. And I'm sitting here feeling it again today, and it's fucking horrible. But it is so true that what you said, like you've just, too much is never enough and you've just got to stop. How much you talk? I talk a lot. I've got ADHD. So I think this is a really good outlet for me. It's a good for me hyperactivity. Do you know what it is as well? I used to get on my school reports all the time. If Ashley put as much time and effort into my work as she does chatting, she would be a really good student. That was on all of my reports. So I feel like I was kind of made for this YouTube channel. TRD saying, did you experience K-holes a lot? I used to love K-holes. That was like what the aim of the game for us. But it just got to the point where I couldn't K-hole. Like I would do gram lines and still couldn't K-hole at one point. Because you get a tolerance to stuff. And that happens with every addiction. I think quitting vaping gets a lot better after, say, day 4 or so. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. This is day 3. The difference with drug addiction and vaping is the drug addiction, I just felt like was like, this is something to do, whereas drug addiction was your identity. Like it was like my whole life revolved around it, whereas like vaping's just something that I do in my life all the time. So like as much as I'm feeling the cravings and stuff, drug addiction and alcohol addiction and stuff like that, it's really fucking hard to do, because it's not only you dealing with the cravings, but it's also like your whole life. And you just can't imagine a life where you're not doing it. Right, anyways. TRD is same way I thought. My nose is itching. TRD same way I thought K-holes are horrible. The way for me, it was my drug of choice though. Do you know what I mean? Like it's each to their own. We all have our own. Like everybody is addicted to has a thing, like a drug of choice or a behaviour of choice. Aragon saying I did vaping for a week. It hurt my gums, lungs and lips, so I stopped last week. I'm glad that you did that. Yeah, there's so many, there are a lot of the things that actually heal. I've been reading up on it. They do affect all those things. Itches are when there's a spirit near. Hopefully it's me gran and grandpa. Double tap, Dr. Pepper is my new addiction, and anime cartoons. Definitely worse addictions, I would say, double tap, when I've looked at your list of things. Definitely worse. I'd say if I can, you're doing great if that's the worst of your worries. I'm not a big fan of oh, hello Deathhawk, how you doing? I'm not a big fan of pop though. I don't do pop. And sugar, I'm not a big sugar person, although I do it keeps creeping in. But every time I'm eating sugar, I'm going on little sugar binges. It's because I'm stressed. Every time I'm like, right, so now I've got to the point like, what am I stressed about? What in my life is stressing me out that I'm like reaching for my sugar addiction? Right, I'm really sorry, Deathhawk, you're late to the show. I'm just about to leave. A double tap saying I'm in the gym every other day though. Yeah, I go to the gym every day pretty much now. I stopped. I went through a stage of, so I had quite a few things off the bounce, and I've learned that you just have to do it no matter what. So I had a few things off the bounce. I had like a couple of bipolar, like I was cycling through bipolar episodes. I had a kidney infection. My son was off for the 6 weeks holiday, so I had no childcare. And there was just thing after thing after thing. And I was trying to do some things in my house, but I didn't go to the gym every day. And I felt like shit. I was so lazy and tired. I had no energy. And I've forced myself to go back to the gym like about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm feeling so much better for it. And you need to just commit to it every day no matter what. And if I don't go to the gym, I'm doing jiu-jitsu. I couldn't go today though, but that was because my son was being sick, and like I was feeling sick yesterday, so I was like, I can't really go spreading bugs. But I've done a workout in the house. Aragon squats. Yeah, I do squats and kettlebells. I don't do just squats by themselves anymore. You're a freaking ninja, double tap. My friends call us a ginger ninja. So I like that. I'll take that. You're a ninja by the sounds of it. So have we got any other ninjas in the group? Is living an antisocial life a form of addiction? Could be parts of it. I would just say it's a lifestyle. There's probably addictions in it. We can be addicted to, like it might be that you're addicted to like adrenaline and stuff like that, or like we can be addicted to like we can be addicted to chemicals that we release from certain things. So maybe you get a buzz out of stuff, and that can be addictive. So it's like getting high on your own supply, but like your own neurochemistry. Charlie saying you subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, if anyone can give us a subscribe, it's a really good free way to help the channel get to the people that need my support. There's a lot of really cool women on YouTube live workouts. Yeah, I watch some. I try to. The thing is, I try to do workouts on YouTube. The problem is I didn't have the same motivation in the house, so I do it sometimes, whereas going to the gym, you have to, like, getting in your gym stuff first thing in the morning, you kind of have to do it. So I find that is like a lot more motivating. Roland is saying I've subbed. Thank you. Thanks for anybody else who's subbed, because I don't find out until after. That's my motivation for the day now. The ginger ninja. Yeah, just be little ninjas, everyone. I'm not available for a date. I am not looking for a date, Peter. Thank you, though. Now to up with a bit of crack now and then. I've never tried crack, but I know a lot of people. My best friend, fucking hell, I have never seen someone's life so fucking, one, insane, like crazy, but two, I've never seen someone just so desperate, like a grown man crying. It was fucking awful to watch. And he's a lush lad as well. It just totally destroyed him. He got in with some fucking naughty people. It was horrendous. Yeah. So I would say there probably is stuff up with crack. I'm not going to advocate for crack on my channel, that's for sure. Crack's the quickest way I spent money for sure. Yeah, my friend we used to spend like easily a grand a day, 2-3 grand a day. It just ended up like being a dealer, getting high on his own supply, then getting like people threatening to kill him. I had people at my door, threatening to try to get us to go in a car just because I was friends with him. Oh, it was fucking horrendous. Crack is very expensive. Very expensive. I would say gambling can be though. Gambling can be really bad like that. Like money, when something's really expensive, it's really dangerous. Aragon, booze is the gateway to every drug. I say that all the time. When I got sober from ketamine, I had to remove alcohol because I knew fine well I was going to relapse. I've quit alcohol now, but we say weed's the gateway, but no, alcohol. Anytime anybody has ever tried a new drug, they've probably been drunk. Gambling is the worst because you can basically gamble your life away in a single night, Carlos. Yeah, I know, I've seen people do this, and people who've done so fucking well, like people I know who've done so well, and they might go like a month, 2 months without gambling, and then one night, and then that's it, full paycheck gone. And then self-loathing, feeling shit, and even though they've done so well, to go that amount of time without doing it, and that one little time wiped them out, and then shame city, here I go, come and just, it's so, yeah, gambling's fucking awful, and it's advertised everywhere. It's disgusting. I do feel really sorry. The thing is, you can sit here though, and I can sit here and my heart bleeds for every single addiction. Like, I know somebody who with weed was like, their mum was dying and they wouldn't go and visit the mum because they were getting waking and baking, and then they were too embarrassed to go see the mum when they were baked, and they'd rather get baked, and then had to sit with that. Like, every single addiction, my heart bleeds for it, because it's just, they're just so awful in their own way. Like, I've seen people ketamine, my addiction, I've seen people literally with catheters still sniffing ket. Like, I've seen people in hospital getting catheters put in, still sniffing ketamine. It's, every addiction is so fucking sad. My heart bleeds for people in active addiction. But yeah, gambling, crack, awful. Very expensive. Yeah, Tower, he's saying now heroin's the worst. Do it for 20 years, get off it, then you go back to the age you were when you started it. Total mindfuck. It leaves you feeling like a waste of space. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I mean, heroin is the worst, then crack cocaine. If we're looking at, like, David Nutter's categorised it. I'd say alcohol is horrendous though. Tower though, are you still feeling that way? Because I can absolutely do one-to-one with you to get you feeling like you're not a waste of space. Because it's not just about getting rid of the addiction, it's about building up yourself. Because it's not just removing the heroin, it's about recreating the person who were underneath it, getting acquainted with the person you were disconnecting yourself from, dealing with the pain that you were numbing out with the heroin. It's not just getting rid of the heroin. Anyways, guys, Tower TV, if you want some support, and you're still feeling like that, go to my website, schoolofaddiction.co.uk, and I'll absolutely help you for free. But I'm gonna go, I'm really tired. Thanks for everyone who's joined. If you could give us a subscribe if you haven't already, that's a really easy way to help the channel. It's Wednesday, isn't it? So I'll be back on Friday at 10 a.m. Thanks for everyone who's joined, and I'll see you soon. Bye.